Grace, thank you. Fox News Alert. We are just moments away now from a major Federal Reserve announcement on interest rates. It could be a decision to raise rates, the most that we have seen in nearly 30 years, 28 to be exact. The announcement coming just days after new inflation data showed a sharp uptick yet again in the prices consumers are paying in this country. All this as businesses are bracing for the economic side effects of what could be the largest rate hike in decades. That announcement moments away. Let's bring in Bob Nardelli, former CEO of Home Depot and Chrysler. Bob, sometimes you say Federal Reserve rate hike decision and people's eyes glaze over. What do people at home need to know about this decision we are about to see announced by the Federal Reserve top of the hour? How will it affect them?
Well, Sandra, it will have a continuing devastating impact on the consumers. We're seeing it every day. You're showing it on the TV, on your show. And if you look at not only inflation, but shrinkflation. You know, last time we spoke, I predicted that inflation would continue to rise. Here we are at an 8.6 level in May. But I would tell you that is deceptively right. What do I mean? Shrinkflation is pervasive now. And the administration is not really doing anything to prevent it, so they must be encouraging it or condoning it. So every time you go to the store, what you're going to see is they're trying to avoid sticker shock, right? So you're paying $5 for something, for a consumable item. The fact is you may have 10, 20, 30% less in that bag or in that can. So that's really the inflationary number that doesn't always get accurately reported in the 8.6. So I lived through 07, 8, and 9 when I was running Chrysler, and we had to run for cash. We had to hoard cash. So I would tell the consumer, make sure that you're building up cash reserves. I would encourage the consumer, again, we saw what happened on baby formula. Build up a supply of non-perishables in your home. Make sure that you're prepared for sustainable inflationary periods.
Wow, I mean, Bob, these are dire warnings coming from you. I mean, are you started out by saying that you believe that the effects of this interest rate hike will be devastating for the American consumer. But I should point out that the purpose of this dramatic potential action from the Fed is to try to tame inflation and bring those prices down. But to your point, because we've seen the Federal Reserve and this administration take so long to respond to these high prices, it's going to be a lot of short-term pain for long-term gain. Fair to say, though, that the end result is to bring prices eventually down?
Eventually down, but I've been around long enough now, 50 years in business, and I've been through these cycles. And sometimes, you know, from peak to valley, it's short. Sometimes it's much more prolonged, Sandra. I would tell you, in the business community, we've been addressing, you know, we're on the outer edges of this hurricane starting in January, and we're really retrenching the way we do business. We're taking all of our orders and looking for the long lead item, and then we're reprofiling all of our material orders to make sure we don't build up inventory, that we don't lock up working capital, which is cash. We're trying to make sure that we are sustainable through this period of time.
It's a big thing to tell people who love their 401ks, they love their, you know, investing in the American stock market, to go to cash. But we hear you. That's your recommendation. As far as how this will immediately affect the American consumer, as you know, and I'm sure you're trying to explain to the American people, it will affect interest rates on credit cards. Mortgages and loans will get costlier. We've already seen the impact of the anticipation of this on the housing market. Things are starting to change. Fewer businesses can afford new workers. We're already hearing that. U.S. goods obviously will get more expensive. We got that producer price information yesterday. That's a forward-looking indicator of what the consumer in this country will eventually pay, and it did indicate prices will keep going higher. I just wonder, Bob, what do you believe can be done today? Let's take gas prices. How do we bring those prices down? You've got President Biden saying he's going to go to Saudi Arabia. We've got the potential for domestic energy production to go way up here in this country. Is there anything he could say or do to go, you know, break bread with those energy companies and say, let's get this done domestically and bring these prices down?
Well, what really scared me to death is when I heard the president and administration say, there's really nothing we can do to affect this period and this the situation that we're in today. That is just unconscionable response to the demands and the issues we're facing.
Yeah.
I ran the oil and gas business for General Electric for a number of years. All we have to do is allow for more drilling, which was stopped earlier in your program, the XL pipeline. You know, I think the energy companies are prepared and willing to do this, but they have been severely dampened, not only during this administration, but over a number of years. Dan Yergin recently issued an article that said he has seen this coming for some time. You know, if we were to collect LNG gas, that is flared gas off of the fracking systems, you know, we could have used that geopolitically like we're trying to do now, but we would have dominated the world and been able to provide this and really blunt some of the dependency on Russia, for example. I sent you a note earlier about DEF, which is diesel exhaust fuel monitoring. You know, these trucks, there was a mandate in 2010. If we run out of urea, which is a combination of diesel fuel to reduce emissions, trucks that were produced 2010 forward will not be able to start. Off-highway trucks, 2015, same rule. Number one producer, India. Okay. Number two was Russia. Number three, Pakistan. Number four, we're the fourth producer in a fuel that is critical to be able to move goods and services across our highways. You make
a lot of good points, Bob. I mean, it's crazy the situation we're in today and how many saw this coming. Even economists inside of former Democratic administrations, Steve Ratner, Larry Summers, and others, they were warning this was coming, and still precautions were not made to prevent this from happening. And here we are. And it's going to be a big dose of medicine. Top of the hour, the Federal Reserve is going to try to take bold action to get these prices down. We're going to be covering it. Bob, always good to talk to you. Thank you very much.
And one quick thing.
Real quick.
I wish these economists actually ran a business in their career. They may have a different perspective.
Interesting. Well, I referenced two economists from Democratic administrations who got it right on inflation, but apparently nobody at the White House was listening. Bob, thank you.
Yeah.